Okay guys, so as promised, I'm going to show you how I did my red, white, and blue look yesterday. I'm going to try to do this pretty quick. It is Sunday and I usually don't wear any eye makeup on Sunday, but I really wanted to show you how I got this look because it was really fun and it was really easy to do. And you could do this with obviously any colors. I just did the red, white, and blue because of 4th of July. So I'm just priming my eyelid right now, and I'm using snow. I don't usually use the snow as an eyelid primer because it is so white. But because we're going to be using the white in the look today, it just made sense. So I just did my whole eyelid with snow. I'm just using a Morphe brush to blend it out. You want to make sure your shadow sense is good and dry so that you don't get any creasing throughout the day. And I'm just pulling up my eyelid to get wherever I might have a little bit of that loose skin. Okay, so we have our eyelids primed with the snow, and I'm just going back in here with my concealer brush and just blending out under my eyes. I did not set my under eye area yet or do my concealer because when I'm doing a colored eyeshadow look, I like to do the colors first. That way if I have to clean up anything that might get down on the bottom of my lid, I will do that. And there I go. Every video, guys, I either drop something or knock something down. So I'm just getting my palette here instead of my hand today. And I'm going to start out with the red shadow. And the red shadow that I'm using is Bandana Shimmer. You can also use your Cherry Blush Scents if you did not have the Bandana Shimmer. And I'm just looking for, we'll use this, a fluffy but not too big brush. It's fluffy, but it's not that big. It's not like, let's see, where's the big fluffy one? You don't want something like this because it's just gonna buff it out a little bit too much. You could use this to clean the edges, but when you're putting the color on, you want it to be a little bit more precise. So we're gonna go ahead, put a little bit of the red shadow on. We're gonna begin on the outer portion of the eye. I'm just placing the product where I want it. We want it outer portion just above the crease because you want to really be able to see that color. And I'm just placing it where I want it. Kind of patting it, not really buffing it because I want to keep it to this area. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more. You could build up the color intensity to your liking. And I always keep a paper towel next to me, and I will use that to wipe off product when I feel I have enough, so that I don't keep adding if I don't need it. We're just buffing it, and I'm bringing it slightly over into the middle portion of my eye. Again, just above my natural crease. See, here's my crease. There's my crease, so I'm just up above it. And don't worry if you bring it up too high, we can clean that up too. So now I'm just going to go in with a little bit bigger brush. I'm still not at that really big brush that I showed you in the beginning. This is like a medium, I guess. And I'm just going to buff it a little bit. This way I'm not adding any more product on. I'm just using the clean brush to blend it. Just like that. Okay, so we have the red shadow on. So now we're going to go in and do the white. And I'm going to do the white in the center of my eyes just to kind of give it that brighter look. And I'm going to go back in with the snow shadow that we used to prime our lid. Putting a little bit on my palette. And I'm just going to take a flat brush. This one is the Morphe M421. I'll just put a little bit of product on there. And we're just going to pat it in the center of the eye. Sorry if you hear my beagle in the background. That is Charlie. He's outside right now barking at probably chipmunks. See, I'm just bringing that white right into the center of my eye here. And I'm just patting it. We're going to go back in and we're going to blend these lines. So don't worry too much about lines when you're first applying the product. When working with different shadow colors, we'll often have to go back in and reapply. So just focus on getting the color placement where you want it first, and then we'll go back and we'll see wherever we need to soften up the edges. So we have the red and the white. Inner corner is going to be blue. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that. I'm not blending in those edges yet. I'm going to go ahead and put my blue shadow on next, and I am using Lapis Glitter. This one was just released, I think, back in April at Seminar. So I'm going to use that for my blue. You could also use denim if you have denim. Denim is a really pretty blue. Also, it just does not have any glitter in it, which you could definitely do because the bandana shimmer really doesn't have any glitter in it. And obviously snow is a flat color, so the denim would look just as nice. I just love lapis blue. It reminds me of my birthstone, which is sapphire. So we're just going ahead and we're placing the blue on the inner portion of my eye. And I'm bringing it slightly up over the white into the crease. Just like that. So we have the blue, the white, and the red. Okay, so color placement is there. I know it does look a little bit weird yet, guys, so just bear with me. I'm going to go back in with some red, and I'm just going to deepen this up a little bit and begin to blend the lines together. So I'm going back in with the original brush that I used, and I'm going to put a little bit more of that red on there. I'm just going to put it here on the outer portion of my eye. When working with Shadow Sense, it's good to let the layers dry in between because it'll also show you more what the color is going to look like, because as they dry, sometimes they're not as bright as when you first put them on and they're wet. So as this dried, it kind of wasn't as bright as I wanted it to be, so I'm just going back in, adding a little bit more, and I'm using that brush that I used in the beginning that's a little bit cleaner. Well, it is cleaner, but I mean, now I've been using it. And I'm just going to dab it. Just want to dab it at the line where the white and the red meet. Just to kind of fade out that line. Now I'm going to go in with a clean brush, using that big fluffy brush I showed you in the beginning. And I'm going over the top, up into my crease, just going all around the edges. And you can see color's pretty dry. It's not even picking up on the brush. But I'm telling you, this does actually make a difference. Even though you can't see the product, it does soften the edges. Alright, so now for our eyeliner, we're going to use the navy pencil, and we're going to tightline the upper and bottom lash. So I like to reach over, pull my lid up, and get right in there. And I have contacts, so that does dry my eyes out, so I have to blink. We're going to do it on the bottom, same thing. bringing it right across. Okay, so we have the blue now on the bottom. We have to bring a little bit of red in there to help balance out what we have on the top. So take a little bit of your red shadow and any flat brush. I'm actually using the brush that I used for my white, but I just wiped it off. I like this brush because it is small. I don't want to pick up too much color. We're going to take the red and we're going to put it underneath the outer portion of the lashes. Bring it right up into the red shadow that's at the top. Kind of just melting them, blending them together. And I always go in with a little bit. Add more if I need it. Do be careful you don't really get it too much into the blue liner because the blue eyeliner hasn't set yet. So it will blend out or smudge, which is a nice thing if that's the look you're going for, but I'm not trying to do that now. So you have to be careful not to touch it too much. So I see I just brought the red underneath and I brought it right up to meet the top. And now we have the red and the blue. Even though we're not matching it exactly to the top, I still like to have the same colors on the top as I do on my bottom lid. So I need to get a little bit of white in there. A little bit more on my palette. And finding a clean brush, because we don't want to use the one with the red on it now because then the red's going to transfer. So I'm just going to use, I just have this little angled brush. Any brush you have that's small and thin would work. And I'm just going to put it more towards the inner portion here. And I'm kind of dabbing it again because I don't really want to smudge out the blue liner. I just want to get a little bit of white underneath here. Patting it to blend it. Okay, so now is when I would go ahead in with concealer and I would do my under eyes and clean up anything that I wanted to up above. I'm actually gonna leave. I feel like I left enough space up here, so I'm actually gonna leave that. I'm just gonna go ahead and conceal my under eye and set it with some powder. Okay guys, so the shadows are on. I just set my under eye. I'm going to go ahead and put some mascara on. And start out with my primer. I love the primer. Just makes my lashes look so much longer than just the mascara alone. I seriously cannot wear mascara without primer anymore. And I'm going to let my primer set a little bit. I don't let it dry completely. I prefer to work with it when it's still a little bit damp. I'm just going in with my waterproof mascara because I love this big fluffy brush. And I'm trying very carefully not to get the mascara on my eyelids like I usually do. So I'm going to bring my mirror down low and I'm going to look down. Little tip does help. I'm actually going to finish off this look with a little blush. I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to use some of the bandana shimmer that I have on my eyes. But I'm going to mix it with my concealer, so it's not too bright red. So I just put a little dot of concealer. I'm just going to use the back of a brush to mix it. Create my own little blush color. I'm actually going to go ahead and add a little bit more of the red. Sometimes you have to play a little artwork here to get the color that you want. And it's kind of here. It's not going to pick up great because my palette is a mirror. But you're going to put it on a brush when working with your blush and you want it to come out even. You want to make sure that you pack it in there pretty evenly. And I kind of like to bounce it, starting at the apple and bring it back. So that's the same eyeshadow, guys. That's the red, and I mixed it just with my light concealer. That's the concealer that I wear every day. So you could definitely get away with using your Shadow Sense for blush. Good little travel tip. If you're traveling and you like to pack light, you can get away with no blush. Just take a shadow color. Usually I'll do, I've done Mulberry, I've done Pink Opal Shimmer, Pink Posy is a good one. These are colors that I love to put on my eye anyway. And I'm just going over the blush, patting it to soften any edges. This is my concealer brush that I use for my under eye. Like that. Alright, so we just have to finish this look off with our lips, and yesterday I just did a gloss, but today I guess we might as well put on a little bit of a red lip color to tie this whole look in together. I'm just using a Q-tip with witch hazel. Actually, no, I'm not using witch hazel. I'm using the micellar cleansing water today. So this is another good alternative to clean your lips. Just want to make sure you get all the makeup off, because you don't realize that your makeup gets on there, but it does. And then we'll make sure they're dry. So I'm using Roseberry. It's one of my favorite everyday reds. It's not too bright. It is a matte red, so it's not, there's no glitter or sparkle to it, so I feel like it's a really good everyday red color. A little piece of cotton. Roseberry is a really easy color to apply to. It's very thin. It's a thin formula, so it's very easy to apply. It goes on really easy, and it dries pretty quick in between coats. And with Lip Sense, any Lip Sense color, you have to apply three coats for it to last as long as it's supposed to. A lot of the colors too, especially ones that are thinner consistency like this, you need the 3 coats to get the color payoff too, because it applies so sheer. You need to put on the 3 coats. Let that dry, and you could tell that it's wet when your lips stick. You could tell it's still tacky if you're talking and your lips are sticking. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do one final coat. And sometimes when I'm done with my last coat, I'll go around with the pointier edge and I'll just clean up the edges. Just so they're nice and neat. All right, let that dry. And then I'm gonna top it off with the red glitter gloss because I like these two together. Because the Roseberry is a matte lip shade, putting on the glitter gives it just a little something extra. And it doesn't change the color too much. And that's it. That is my 4th of July red, white, and blue look, even though we're a few days late. I really wanted to show you guys how I did this, and I actually prefer how today's look came out as opposed to yesterday's. It's a little bit brighter, which I like, and I hope that you enjoyed this too. Maybe it'll inspire you to do some kind of fun makeup look. If you try this out or you do another fun look, any 3 colors, I think this would be really fun with. Please post a picture and tag me in it. I'd love to see how your look came out.